Hey everyone, it's Daniela Pozzolongo here. Today I'm going to do a really quick video on the problem with your AdWords account. Well, actually, the problems of your AdWords account. So, if you're running AdWords, then these are the problems that you probably have if you're not experienced in managing AdWords professionally, if you haven't been properly trained, and if you've got low experience, I guess, in AdWords. So, don't freak out if you have these problems because they can be fixed and you can move away from these problems, but it's good to be aware of these things because you can then rectify them and make changes. So the first problem is you have too many keywords. So when you're running AdWords, you obviously need to target based on keywords. So when you have too many keywords, what happens is your budget is very stretched. So this has a few flow-on effects. So the first thing is obviously, just say you have a $10 a day budget and you've got 10 keywords. So basically Google has to figure out how to get that $10 to show for all of those 10 keywords in the whole time that you want to show your ads for. So it has to stretch that really finely. If you have only one keyword, then Google's got it pretty easy. It just knows that it wants to show for that keyword, so that's all it needs to focus on, and all that budget goes to that keyword. So in most cases, you don't have an unlimited budget. If you did have an unlimited budget, then awesome, then you probably have more flexibility to have as many keywords as you like. But when you're working with a limited budget, you want to make sure that you're targeting probably your core products and services, making sure that you're not going too broad with all your keywords, because you want to make sure that your budget is spread evenly enough so that you can get enough traffic on the keywords and actually test and measure them. In saying that, again, also, in a similar regard with the keywords, you might be targeting a broad location. So you might service customers all around Australia, but if you're targeting all of Australia, then you're again stretching that budget thinly across the whole country. Whereas if you focus on one area, your budget's going to be at least targeted to that area, and you can actually, optimize in that one area. If it starts working there, then you can start expanding with extra budget in other areas. Another flow-on effect of having too many keywords is that you're not going to get enough data. So in that analogy of having $10 a day across 10 keywords, you might only be able to get maybe one click a day on each keyword. And because AdWords is optimized based off data, you can't make any decisions with not enough data. So if you only have one click a day on all of your keywords, you've got to wait quite a bit of time to actually assess whether that keyword's working for you. That's why I do recommend cutting down the keywords that you're targeting to a lower number, so that way you can actually get that data quicker. You've got to think of it as a scale of time and money. So if you have a lot of money, then you can create all the keywords you like and pump it out as quick as possible, put the budgets and the bids as high as you like, and get that data quicker. But if you don't have a lot of money, you might have to spend a little bit of longer time to actually figure out whether it's going to work for you. In saying that, you need to work out how much money you can invest over how much of time before you get sick of it and go, crap, this isn't working. So you need to give it enough time to run. You need to give it enough time to collect the data. So it's always going to be a sliding scale depending on your budget and how much time you want to invest into it. And there's no right or wrong answer there, and I'm more than happy to help you out figure those things out if you need to. So just let me know. So another problem with your AdWords account is that you're using broad match keywords. Now, this is very similar to having too many keywords. When you're using broad match keyword, you're basically saying to Google, hey, I want to target sugar. So let me rephrase that. So just say you want to target brown sugar. So if you put your keyword as brown sugar as a broad match, Google, you're basically saying to Google, hey Google, find anything related to brown sugar and show my ad for it. So if they think that something is related or relevant to brown sugar, your ad might show for it. So to give you an example, something completely wrong and irrelevant would be sugar daddy. Someone might be typing in sugar daddy and brown sugar, your ad for brown sugar will come up. So you're giving Google all the freedom it likes. So it might be showing ads for, sugar cubes or white sugar or organic sugar or sugar alternatives. So there's a lot of different keywords that you might appear for, or search terms that you might appear for using broad match. It's not a bad thing, but it does make you have less control over what you're going to be showing ads for. If you're going to be using broad match, your negative keywords need to be fully up to date, on point. Go through your search terms all the time, making sure that you're culling out anything that's irrelevant. But if you're having a limited budget, it's probably worthwhile getting rid of the broad match and working on something a little bit more targeted, like a broad match modifier or a phrase match, or even an exact match. So that's another problem. Another problem, again, is your impression share. Now, impression share is something that's a little hidden column, which I really love looking at to assess where a campaign's at. So the impression share basically is how much of the share of impressions do you have for all the searches that you're eligible for. So let's talk about the brown sugar example. So just say that there's 10,000 searches a day for brown sugar, but your budget only allows for you to show for 100 searches. So your impression share is a percentage of the total searches that are out there available. So your impression share can be low due to having a low budget in that example, but it can also be low due to low ad rank. So ad rank is a mystical figure that you don't ever know what your ad rank is, but Google ranks you based on the quality of your campaign, the quality of your account, your campaign history, your bids, your quality scores, and a variety of other factors with the campaign. So typically, if you're using all broad match keywords and you set up your campaign as per Google's automated setup wizard, your impression share is going to be quite low due to ad rank, because you're not really setting up, you're not really targeting your campaign as effective as possible. However, if you're targeting it, say in a way that I would build it, you would be very specific, you would have very relevant ads, your ad rank will be higher, so you'll have more impression share. Obviously, you're still missing out on, it's not just about having high impression share, but you need to make sure you're having enough volume. So you might have 100% impression share, but there might be one search a day, so it's not really going to be much use to you. So you want to make sure that you find that balance of having a good volume of traffic and make sure that it's actually relevant as well to your business. And finally, ad groups. So when you're creating your campaigns, your ad groups can basically, all your ad groups house the keywords and the ads. So within one ad group, you could have as many keywords as you like. Okay, well, there's the limit, but I've never ever met the limit. So within an ad group, you have all the keywords, and then each ad is linked to your ad group. So you want to make sure that your ad groups are actually put together in themes, I guess. They, in AdWords training, they say themes, but I don't really like the idea of themes. I think each ad group should really be related to a keyword. So you have your ad groups that are keyword related, and then you have those keywords within your ads. That way you might have a lot more ad groups, but your ads are so targeted to the keywords because they are only going to show for those keywords. So if you put brown sugar cubes as an ad group, and only keywords that are in that ad group are related to brown sugar cubes, then your ads, make sure that they say brown sugar cubes quite a bit in them, and make sure that it's really relevant to brown sugar cubes. Your ad relevancy is going to be high, which will improve your quality score, which will improve your ad rank. I hope that made sense. Can be a bit clunky to think of it like that, so I'm more than happy to go through in more detail if anyone needs any help. And I know I said finally, but the other thing is having not enough data and not having conversion tracking. So as I said earlier on, all AdWords optimization does come down to data. So you can't make a decision based off your gut feeling or what you think's working and what's not, because really that's just, it's not really going to work out for you. I mean, you might have an idea of what's going on, but I like to make decisions based off the data, and AdWords tells you that data. So set up conversions, make sure you've got them tracking correctly, and make your decisions based on the conversion data. If you don't have conversion data yet, then have a look at what's going on. Are you getting enough traffic? Is your click-through rates high? Are people engaging on your site? That kind of thing. So find out what's happening, aim to get those conversions in there, and base your decisions off conversions. If you don't have enough data, then you either need to increase your budget to increase your traffic, or you might need to change your keyword strategy and make sure you're getting enough traffic coming through in the first place. That's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do have any AdWords questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Bye.